it's your girl Jay, and welcome to Daily Dose, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in K-pop for today. BlackPink in your area! This week, girl group BlackPink makes history by becoming the first ever girl group to sell 1 million copies of a Korean album. As of this week, their first full-length studio album, The Album, released earlier this year, hit 1.2 million copies sold, including 871,355 copies in domestic sales, 319,300 copies in the United States and Europe, and 18,888 copies of their limited edition vinyl LP version. This means BlackPink now holds the record for the girl group with the highest selling Korean album of all time, beating out legendary first-gen girl group SES, who previously held the record with their 1999 album Love, which sold over 760,000 copies. So congrats to BlackPink and Blinks for this amazing feat. Now, this huge accomplishment started a lot of different discussion around the group and their success, so I wanted to take some time to address some of the things I saw on the internet. Now, first and foremost, and I wasn't surprised seeing this because I feel like it always comes up anytime BlackPink accomplishes anything, and that's the notion that the only reason that BlackPink is able to reach these numbers is due to the fact that YG starves the fans with few releases and little music. Now, it's no secret that BlackPink has one of the smaller discographies when it comes to third-gen girl groups, and I'd be lying if I said the lack of comebacks and the ample time between comebacks doesn't build hype. However, the fact that people are willing to stick around despite all of this is a testament to their popularity. Let's keep it 100. Not everyone would be able to pull that off. And I'm not just talking about other girl groups, because I do acknowledge that them coming from YG or coming from any big company that's super influential for that matter does give you a leg up. But the thing is, not even people in their own company are able to pull that off, no shade. If people didn't truly enjoy the group and the music, then this starving gimmick would have led to their demise a long time ago. In fact, it's a very common argument that BlackPink would be even more successful if they released more stuff, not the other way around. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I mean, I would love to have more music and releases from BlackPink. And bragging about the lack of music you give your fans is the definition of weird flex, but okay. I'm just saying that using their lack of releases as a reason to why their achievements are a fluke is really dumb. Another thing I saw a lot of people talking about is whether this huge achievement has essentially certified BlackPink to legendary status among third-gen groups. Now, I feel like there's only really a handful of third-gen groups that most people without debate would consider legendary and iconic. BTS, of course, EXO, and then for girl groups Twice. And I think it's important to also note that looking at second gen, you don't necessarily have to be the most iconic or legendary group to be considered iconic or legendary. For example, there were groups that weren't SNSD like Wonder Girls and 2NE1 that are considered really iconic. But in my opinion, BlackPink's case, there tends to be two things that always come up that lead people to be skeptical as to how truly legendary and iconic BlackPink is. So one is the lack of comebacks and the lack of music, and the other is YG. Because they're from YG. Let me explain. So for me, with the lack of comebacks, I think even though majority of their comebacks have been very successful, I think the lack of comebacks always makes them appear kind of behind when it comes to their contemporaries. They come off as a much younger group than they actually are due to the lack of material. And I feel like that's going to be always a minus when you're trying to determine whether a group is iconic or influential or legendary. Kind of like what I explained before, I think it kind of makes people feel well, I don't have enough evidence that you're truly here to stay and you're not just a fluke. Or there's not enough evidence of your staying power. Or the idea that they have good results, but they haven't done enough to deserve a spot among legends. And secondly, there's the fact that they're from YG. So take a walk with me real quick. So I got into K-pop around 2007, 2008, and at the time, YG was the ish. They were so iconic, people thought they were so cool, they were seen as the idols with the real music and the real artists, because you had, members of Big Bang producing songs and writing songs. Then you had 2NE1, who was this girl group who didn't care about looks, were all about talent and stuff like that. Super edgy, very cute, very cool. Then there came a point where all of that basically just flipped. Now, I definitely think that the Burning Sun scandal played a huge role in that, but I think it was like an amalgamation of a lot of things. YG himself getting into legal trouble, multiple idols under YG Entertainment getting into drug-related scandals, etc., etc. And I think one of the big things to come out of that in terms of their reputation was the idea that the media played a lot. Like, a lot of people started calling out situations and like past articles and things like that where they felt that YG was like overselling the popularity of their idols. I think one of the major repercussions of this were people like really examining the success and the like achievements of their current idols, of their new generation, i.e. Winner, iKON, and who we're talking about today, BlackPink. Because it's like this idea that, oh, we don't want to fall for YG's media play again. Like, are they really a big deal? Is it just fluff? And sometimes, yeah, like you have to call it out. But I feel like it led to a lot of things that BlackPink do and accomplish being met with skepticism. So I think between BlackPink's lack of music and YG's reputation, it made it really hard to get like a generally universally accepted unbiased like determination of BlackPink's like popularity and like icon status. But as for me, I think it's pretty unquestionable that between their popularity in Korea and their success overseas, they're definitely going to be remembered as one of the standout groups of the third generation. But that's just my opinion. And as always, guys, I want to know yours. Are you shocked that BlackPink was the first group to hit over 1 million sales with a Korean album? And do you think with this, they reached legendary status among third gen? Let me know below. And as always, guys, if you liked the video, make sure to like the video. If you loved the video, make sure to share the video. That's it for today, and see you next time on Daily Dose. Bye!